Welcome to your home garage, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use your pressure washer to effectively wash your car and answer some of the most common questions about using these machines. So a common perception is that a pressure washer can damage your vehicle's finish, and therefore you should never use a pressure washer when washing your car. Now, I've been detailing my vehicles for a few decades now, and I enjoy using a pressure washer as one of my tools. In this video, I'm not going to get into the mechanics of the pressure washer, but I will lean on my years of experience and show you how safe they can be when used properly. So when you purchase your pressure washer, it's a good idea to have an understanding of what each of the colored nozzles actually represent. And your pressure washer likely came with multiple nozzles: a red, yellow, green, white, black, and sometimes blue. Now the red, which is marked as 0 degrees, is incredibly powerful and used for spot cleaning or hard unpainted surfaces. You would never use this when washing your car. It's primarily made for concrete. The yellow, which is marked as 15 degrees, is used for intense cleaning or unpainted hard surfaces, such as bricks and walkways. The green is what you call a 25 degrees, and that's standard cleaning nozzle for most applications such as yard tools or anything with heavy debris. Sometimes used on cars, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. The white is what you call a 40-degree spray or fan. Now this is used for cleaning painted or delicate surfaces such as your car, and you'll likely see a lot of detailers using the white or 40-degree nozzle. And lastly, the black or blue, which is actually your low pressure. Now this is safe for all cleaning surfaces because it's actually meant to apply soap or a gentle rinse. Now this is the one I like personally because of the power rating, 3000 psi of my pressure washer. I actually get a very decent fan spray from my low pressure nozzle. And honestly, I have nothing against using a garden hose, as I've actually used a garden hose in many of my videos. They do have their place for convenience and effectiveness. And if you can achieve the level of cleanliness and quality that you're happy with, then by all means, use a garden hose. Now, I've used both because there are benefits to using the garden hose and the pressure washer. So this video isn't about proving that one is better than the other. It's about showing how safe the pressure washer can be. Now, if you're a detail enthusiast such as myself, it's likely that you would purchase a pressure washer that is capable of doing more than just washing your vehicle, such as driveways, decks, even stripping paint from certain materials. So you'll purchase one tool to perform many jobs or functions around the house. This particular pressure washer is rated for up to 3000 psi. Far too powerful to wash your vehicle at full capacity. But with the correct nozzle and spray pattern, it's incredibly effective. For any car, you need to choose a pressure washer that emits water with a pounds per square inch or PSI in the amount of 1200 to 2200. Anything more than 1900 PSI or at the very best 2000 PSI can actually damage the paint job on your car. The same way, anything below 1200 PSI will not be powerful enough to actually clean your car properly. Now personally, I like to use the low pressure nozzle for my application, as I primarily use the chemicals such as shampoos and soaps to remove the debris versus heavy spray or blast of water. Now if I had a pressure washer with a lower PSI, then I may choose to move up from the black nozzle that you see me using. But again, if you find that your application is best served by the same pressure that your garden hose delivers, then just match the appropriate nozzle with either the 40-degree white or low pressure blue or black. So here are a couple of tips when using the lance. So first off, you want a fan pattern, not a stream, from the nozzle for the safest and most effective use of water. And when holding the lance, you actually, for the spray pattern, want to be at a 45-degree angle as much as possible. I know that may not be possible depending on the size of the vehicle, but again, as much as possible on a 45-degree angle, and that'll actually give you the best runoff. You also don't want to hold the lance or the water pressure too close to your car, and this will help to reduce any sort of impact or opportunity for the jet to cause any sort of damage to your paint. So depending on how powerful your pressure washer is, the best or optimal range would be holding the lance anywhere between 2 to 4 feet away from your vehicle. And another tip is you want to keep the water jet or the lance moving continuously. This will help to prevent any sort of damage that could be caused by aggressive use. And it also helps to reduce the amount of water that you're using during your cleaning process. Of course, not each detailing situation is exactly the same. So if you're washing an older vehicle that wouldn't have the same paint technology as a modern car, then a pressure washer may not be the optimal choice. Or you notice the paint is actually bubbled in certain areas, then using pressurized water may not be the best option. So like I've said in many of my videos, evaluate what tools you need during the prep walk around and prepare accordingly. So there seems to be 3 major concerns when using a pressure washer, and I want to address each one of those. So the first concern is the amount of pressure that comes out of the pressure washer can actually force the debris into the paint, therefore causing scratches. Now, I haven't been able to find any case studies whatsoever that prove this theory, but I would say that that is a genuine concern of mine. So to guard against that, I used a low pressure nozzle, and once again used the rinse, then the thick foam, then the rinse off method again to remove all the big particles before an actual contact wash. The second concern is that the pressure washer can actually strip the paint off your vehicle. Well, now that you've seen that with the correct nozzle and distance, you can safely use a pressure washer with little to no concern. So depending on the PSI rating of your machine, you'll actually see individuals use the 40, which is the white, or even the 25, which is the green, for tough caked on mud applications. I would highly recommend moving up the scale, so starting with a low pressure first and then the white, followed by the green if you need the extra pressure and the surface can actually handle it. But for me, I use the low pressure nozzle and use the chemicals to loosen the particles and do the work for me versus blasting off the dirt with just the pressure washer. And typically the third concern when using a pressure washer is that it can actually damage the trim or break off parts. So I would agree that the pressure washer can generate incredible force. I would hope though that anyone wouldn't use the incorrect nozzle when detailing their car, such as the red. So for this application of detailing, all you're really doing is rinsing off dirt or the shampoo from your vehicle and not removing paint from a brick. So match the spray nozzle to something that is greatly or slightly more aggressive than your garden hose and that you're actually comfortable with. So here are just a few more things to consider. The water pressure will remove most debris, if not all, but you don't have to get everything off, such as all those stubborn stains like the bird droppings or the tree sap or even the bug stains. Let the soap or shampoo actually work for you. That way you don't accidentally use the water pressure too aggressively and cause unwanted damage to your paint surface. Most, if not all, detailers are using pressure washers, whether they're gas or electric, to detail cars. So once again, proving that a pressure washer, if used properly, is incredibly effective. The Subaru pressure washer that I use is gas-based, and that actually makes it incredibly effective when using it with a foam cannon. But it is incredibly noisy, and that's why an electric may be better for you and maybe your application. Now you could do all the research on the pros and cons of both a gas versus an electric, though some of the main differences is the gas engines can produce a lot more power. And since the gas engines can produce more power, that means the pump can actually generate considerably more PSI and GPM, which is the gallons per minute. So they can effectively clean faster and deeper than an electric pressure washer. But once again, they do produce a lot more noise. So in summary, using pressurized water can lift and remove dirt and debris from the surface of your car safely and in a very efficient manner. So with some great fundamentals, hopefully now you feel more comfortable using a pressure washer as part of your detailing. The pressurized water will also help with a quicker detail and less water usage. And to effectively foam your car, a pressure washer is a must, as your normal garden hose will not be able to produce the same results. And the last thing is a pressure washer is just a lot of fun and actually looks far more professional than actually showing up to someone's house with a garden hose. So now you can tackle your next car detail safely and feel a lot more comfortable using your pressure washer. And it would be interesting if you could comment below on if you prefer a gas or an electric pressure washer. And also check out this next video on proper contact wash techniques.